Ever wondered how players make almost any car do a wheelie in Forza Horizon 6? You're in the right place. In this video, I'll show you the upgrades, tuning settings, and launch technique that helped me make most cars lift their front wheels. Keep in mind that not every car is capable of doing a full wheelie. Vehicle weight, power, drivetrain, and wheelbase all play a role. But these settings work surprisingly good on most of the cars I tested. Let's pick a car for our wheelie build. The most important stat here is the front weight distribution. A lower front weight percentage usually makes wheelies much easier, since more weight is already sitting over the rear wheels. For this tutorial, I'll use the DMC DeLorean because it has only 38% front weight distribution, making it a great candidate for wheelies. Before we start upgrading and tuning, let's see how the stock car performs in free roam and what kind of wheelie potential it has. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty slow and there's no sign of a wheelie. So this is a perfect stock starting point, no cheats, no pre-made tunes, just a completely stock car. Now let's head over to the upgrades and tuning menu and start with the custom upgrade section. First, we'll install the biggest engine swap available to maximize torque, since torque is the key to lifting the front wheels. We'll also add twin turbos to squeeze out even more power. For the drivetrain, we'll keep the stock rear-wheel drive setup. In my testing, rear-wheel drive consistently produced better wheelies than all-wheel drive. In the engine section, simply upgrade every available component to the highest level. The goal is to maximize torque. Moving on to platform and handling, I recommend installing race brakes because they're lighter. Install rally springs and dampers, very important because they provide the highest ride height adjustment. Install both front and rear anti-roll bars as well. The roll cage depends on the car you're building. Since every car has a different weight distribution, install maximum weight reduction. Let's move on to the drivetrain upgrades. Install the race clutch, race transmission, and race driveline. I prefer the drift differential. The differential upgrade itself isn't the most important part. The tuning values we'll apply later make the difference. Always choose drag tire compound. It provides the best possible launch. Keep the front tire width at the minimum value and increase the rear tire width to the maximum. For the rims, choose the lightest ones you can find. Always pay attention to the weight value shown in the upgrade menu. Increase the rear rim size to the maximum and keep the front size stock. In aero and appearance section, we'll keep the stock front bumper. At the rear, we'll install a wing. Besides giving us access to aero adjustments later, it also adds a bit of weight over the rear. That's it for the custom upgrades. Now let's take the car into free roam and see how it performs before we start tuning. Right away, you can feel the difference. The car has a lot more power now, and the launches are much stronger. It even looks like it's starting to lift the front wheels a little, which is a really good sign. It's not a full wheelie just yet, but we're getting close. Now let's move on to the tuning section, because that's where we'll turn these small lifts into proper wheelies. Tire pressure, set the front tires to the maximum value and the rear tires to the minimum. We'll skip the gearing section for now. Alignment, set both camber and toe values to 0. Then increase the front caster angle close to the maximum. Set the front anti-roll bar to the minimum value and the rear anti-roll bar to the maximum. For the springs, keep the front as soft as possible and the rear at maximum stiffness. For damping, keep the front suspension soft and the rear at maximum stiffness for both settings. Aero section, we focus on speed. Nothing to change in the brake settings. Differential, set both acceleration and deceleration to 100%. That's it. Let's save the tuning setup and see if all these changes were enough to pull off a proper wheelie. There we go. That's exactly what we were aiming for. From here, it's all about practice. Experiment with your launch control, timing, and gear shifts to get even bigger and more consistent wheelies. One last tip. Don't be afraid to try launching with launch control turned off. Being able to control the engine RPM yourself can sometimes make it easier to keep the front wheels in the air for longer. Looks like the setup worked. The car is finally lifting the front wheels just like we wanted. Here's another useful tip. On some cars, setting the front ride height to the maximum and the rear ride height to the minimum can produce even better wheelies. This changes the car's stance and, in my testing, helped a few cars lift the front wheels much more easily. This method isn't limited to just one car. With the techniques from this tutorial, you can make many different cars perform wheelies. Keep in mind that every car is different. Some of them may need a few small adjustments to the tuning, but the overall setup and principles remain the same. So don't be afraid to experiment, test different cars, and see just how crazy you can make them.